Have you ever wondered how to convert your visitor visa to a work permit in Canada? The idea might seem daunting, but there's a world of opportunities waiting for you. Converting your visa can open the doors to a thriving job market, competitive wages, and a high standard of living. It's a chance to immerse yourself in a multicultural society that values diversity and inclusion. All it takes is understanding the process and taking the right steps. So, let's get started on understanding this process. First and foremost, you need to understand if you're eligible for a work permit. In Canada, eligibility for a work permit hinges on a few key factors. Most crucially, you must have a job offer from a Canadian employer, but not just any job will do. The job offer must be for a position that fits into one of the categories recognized by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. These categories include jobs under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, or the Canadian Experience Class, among others. There's also an important caveat to keep in mind. The type of work permit you can apply for is largely determined by the type of visitor visa you hold. For instance, if you're in Canada as a visitor on a temporary resident visa, you might be limited to applying for an employer-specific work permit rather than an open work permit. Remember, the type of work permit you can apply for depends on your current visitor visa status. Once you've determined your eligibility, it's time to start the application process. Now, this might seem a bit overwhelming, but don't worry, we're going to break it down into manageable steps. First off, you need to gather all the necessary documents. This usually includes a copy of your passport, proof of your current visa status in Canada, a job offer from a Canadian employer, and evidence of your work experience and qualifications. Make sure all your documents are in order and up to date. Next up, there's the application fee. This can vary, but typically it's around a few hundred Canadian dollars. This fee helps cover the cost of processing your application. Remember, this is a non-refundable fee, so it's crucial to ensure your application is complete and accurate. Once you've got everything together, you can submit your application. This is usually done online through the Canadian government's official immigration website. But remember, you can also apply through a paper application, though this might take a bit longer. Now, the waiting game begins. Processing times can vary greatly, but on average, it takes a few months. During this time, it's important to keep your status in Canada legal. If your visitor visa expires, you may need to apply for an extension. Keep in mind that the processing time can vary, so it's important to plan accordingly. After your work permit is approved, there are a few more steps to take. You'll first need to apply for a social insurance number, or SIN, which is essential for working and living in Canada. It's like your official ID for all things work-related. Next, you'll want to find a place to live. Canada has a wide range of accommodation options to suit different budgets and lifestyles. From city apartments to suburban houses, there's something for everyone. Now let's talk about work culture. Canadians value a good work-life balance and clear communication. Be ready for a friendly and inclusive environment that values diversity and respect. Lastly, don't forget about renewing your work permit. It's not a one-and-done deal. Make sure to keep track of when your permit expires and apply for renewal ahead of time. And there you have it, a comprehensive guide on how to convert your visitor visa to a work permit in Canada. Remember, planning and preparation are key to a successful transition. Now that we've covered everything from eligibility to renewal, it's time to wrap up and provide you with some additional resources to ease your transition. Remember, the Canadian government's official website is a great place to start for any questions related to visas and work permits. It's also worth checking out the local communities and forums where you can connect with other people who have gone through the same process. They can offer you tips, advice, and even job leads. Don't forget to research the job market and cost of living in the area you're planning to move to. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better prepared you'll be. And finally, remember to embrace the journey. Moving to a new country is a big step, but it's also an exciting adventure. Take it one step at a time, and before you know it, you'll be settled into your new life in Canada. Scene 6. Closing. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Comrade Community for more informative videos like this one. Until next time, we wish you the best of luck with your work permit application and your journey to Canada. Stay informed, stay prepared, and remember, we're here to help.